in a world where science and technology can change our future.
For me, it makes me more passionate about the work that I do as well, really just seeing all of this and, it's exactly what we're working for, you know? And so it's an honor to just be a part of the missions and, just support in any way that I can and that we can.
23-year-old Sarah Adewumi is trying to bridge a gap she's noticed.
So why do you feel it's so important to be an example, especially as a woman of color in STEM?
I think that women, and especially women of color, are still very underrepresented in the STEM field. And I think that their voices aren't maybe as heard within the industry because we hadn't seen it before in the past. And so I think moving forward in the future, we're starting to see a lot more representation. We're starting to see so many women's voices heard. We're starting to see so many people in the public space, in media, and just seeing those stories. I think it's really inspiring for me, and it's also really inspiring for the next generation to see that.
At a young age in her hometown in Arizona, Adewumi developed a love for science.
I really started off in elementary school being fascinated by rock, sciences, everything. And so I always say that I wanted to be in biology, chemistry, geology, astronomy, and that is how I really started doing that. And then it ended up being meteorology and then aviation. And then by the time I got to high school, I was like, okay, maybe I can go into the aviation industry.
She was on the hunt to find mentors in her field that looked just like her.
I didn't see people that looked like me in those fields. It was just much harder for me to, try to continue on. But once I started connecting with women and realizing like, wow, there's a lot of us doing this. It's just about seeing them, hearing their voices, hearing their stories, and realizing that's when I realized that there is a space for me here, and that's what really motivated me.
After receiving her bachelor's in aviation science from University of Maryland Eastern Shore and her master's in information science from University of Maryland College Park, Adewumi landed a cybersecurity job at NASA as a management lead in Maryland. She's using her experience to amplify the voices of women in STEM by sharing her own story. Last year, she got the chance to give a TED Talk presentation called "This is What a Scientist Looks Like."
Being one of only a few women that were in my division in the aviation industry, and then getting out into the world and seeing that, women are taking up space within the industry. It's all about really just having their stories and their voices amplified. And so that is basically what my talk is about, really just being multifaceted in the STEM industry.
And she's backing it up with action by going into the communities and working with the youth.
That's one thing that I'm really trying to make sure that these girls understand, that there are role models out there, and just connecting them with that.
Through her mentoring program, Next Gen in STEM, she's able to expose young girls to the STEM world through projects, events, and connecting them to other women in STEM.
She always encouraged me and showed me how to explore things in technology, no matter how I look or what gender I am. It just inspires me to just be able to do other things because I feel comfortable when I see someone else who looks like me, because it makes me feel good.
12-year-old Faith Canty's passion for science has grown since she's had Adewumi as a mentor.
I like to learn more about the Earth and how it was formed and different parts about it.
She's even considering becoming an example for the next generation.
And I could teach math and science and all these other things that I love to do because I like to teach, but I also like to learn about these things. So it'd be great to teach other people about what I've learned.
I didn't even realize that I even inspired young girls until a few years ago, and I found that some of my nieces were like playing dress up and they were being me, and I was like, what is going on? And so that is really how I started off doing it, and really just expanding that, speaking to schools, elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, and just trying to keep young girls engaged.
Girls as young as Ava Canty.
Just like the way she teaches me and the way I focus to learn, it's inspiring that way.
She'd like to design spacesuits for astronauts.
Well, I like fashion a lot, but I also like engineering and coding. So I don't know.
Adewumi wants to show young girls that the sky is the limit.
That's what I really encourage people to do, is really, don't put yourself in a box, try new things, try new experiences, and who knows, you may find what you love.
So tell me, what is it like working with these girls and being an example for them?
having that be their first time that they maybe imagine that, oh, maybe science is for me, maybe engineering is for me. That's amazing to see, and that's something that I want to continue doing for a very long time as well. Even if they don't want to pursue the aviation industry or the aerospace industry, whatever they want to do, they can pursue it, and they can also pursue leadership roles as well.
Reporting in Maryland, I'm Yamari Sase, DC News Now.